Bus driver's life changes forever when her bus with 20 kids aboard meets with an unexpected accident. Life is tough and full of unexpected events each day. There are several challenges all through our lives that all of us have to face and try and overcome, but what would you do if you face a situation one day that might turn out to be the last day of your life? What would be more important for you, your own life or the responsibilities that are on you? And what if both of them are at stake? Renita Smith was soon going to face a devastating accident that would change her life, and what'll happen to her young children waiting for their mother to return home from work. The life of this single mother changed forever after the step that she took in an accident that occurred one day in September 2016. Renita Smith is a single mother of 2 children living in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, around 20 miles southeast of Washington, D.C. Renita started working as a school bus driver in 2014 and has been doing the same job since then to raise her kids. Smith picks up and drops off children from Prince George's County Public School, Glenarden Woods Elementary School, and Robert Goddard Elementary School. Every day for the students of the bus is a perfectly fine day with the sweet bus driver that Smith is. But on a Monday of September 2016, these little students were going to face a tragic accident. Every parent is scared and worried about sending their little one to school all alone by themselves without any guardian. But Renita Smith, being a mother herself, was trusted upon by all the parents, and she took care of her little kids as if they were her own children. She didn't differentiate between anyone. Renita works as a bus driver not just because she needs a job, but because she's passionate about driving the school bus. Renita enjoys meeting new people, learning new stories about what people experience in their lives, and likes sharing new bonds with the children who board her bus and their parents. Smith shares a deep connection with every child in her bus, and she's not only aware but also genuinely feels it's her responsibility to get them back to their homes respectively to their parents, who wait for them the whole day. But things were going to get upside down and nothing would remain the same, nor for Renita nor for the 20 children on her bus. One evening, Smith would face the worst day of her life that would change everything without any prior notice or warning. Her already difficult life would get much more difficult then. Smith has a teenage son and a young daughter and has been raising both of them on her own. The only source of income has been the job as school driver that Smith does. Their life revolves from paycheck to paycheck without anything left for savings or wishes. It was a bare minimum kind of situation and the tragedy was about to strike. While Smith reached the College Park area of Maryland one evening to drop the kids off around 5 p.m., she noticed something very weird on the dashboard of her bus. She was on her way dropping off students from the day where she sensed trouble. There was a warning sign on the dashboard which Smith couldn't understand. She thought that she'd be able to reach the next drop-off, which was hardly a block or two away, and then she'd check what the problem was, but it was already too late. There were 20 kids in the bus aged between 4 and 9 years old, and all of them could sense something was wrong. The bus, on the other hand, couldn't even reach the next drop-off, and it stopped just in front of the stop sign board in the middle of the road. Renita knew something was majorly wrong and decided to inform the transportation manager at once. She picked up the radio receiver, and as she was about to speak into it, she saw something in the rear view of the bus that scared her so much she was unable to speak even a single word. Smith told Today, "When I picked up the radio and I looked through my side rearview mirror, I saw the smoke." It was after this that Renita's mind went into overdrive. It was a dreadful and serious situation, and the responsibility of 20 students was on her, and she was unable to make out as to what was even wrong. Renita was scared and zoned out when one kid came up to her and said, "Miss Bus Driver, the bus is smoking." And that's when Renita came back to her senses and knew that she would herself have to take some quick steps not to save just herself, but everyone on the bus. Renita quickly devised a plan. "I put the mic back down, undid my seatbelt, jumped up, got my babies and got off," she told ABC News. Everything was going as planned, but it wouldn't be the same for long. As soon as neighbors saw what was happening, they came out her help. Some of them got a fire extinguisher and some buckets of water, but it was too late. The bus was covered in huge orange flames and nothing would be enough to get them out. But Renita didn't care about the condition. The only thought that struck her was what if one of the children was still on the bus? And what she did next was going to change everything. Nothing would be the same. Smith was a mother of 2, so she knew that those 20 children were also her responsibility. The parents had trusted her with. She ran towards the bus without a second thought, ignoring the condition of how the bus was covered in deadly flames and smoke. Renita went inside and checked every corner of the bus. When she was finally and fully satisfied there was no child left inside, she took a deep breath. That's when she realized she was standing in the middle of the bus aflame. Smith then realized the intensity of the amount of danger she dragged herself into. She was right in the middle of the flames and it seemed like she was in the mouth of death itself, and there seemed to be no way out. With each step she tried to take towards the exit door, the flames grew bigger and scarier. But even in that situation, Renita didn't regret her decision of running back into the bus at all. She had no concern for herself, it was just the children she needed to be safe. While the raging fire had covered the bus all over, Renita thought of her 2 kids for one last time who were alone at home, and she knew there was no one else to take care of them but her. She saw the magnitude of danger around her and just closed her eyes. The situation was so dangerous that even though the neighbors who were watching everything wanted to help, they were unable to. The fire was going too fast. I had a little extinguisher, resident Lucy Killen told the NBC Los Angeles on September 2016. But it was too late, I couldn't do anything. Everyone was just staring at the flames go up and engulfing the bus within it. Even though the students were safe, the person who'd saved them, Renita, was struggling inside the bus, lost behind the smoke. Renita finally somehow managed to come out of the bus only for the sake of the children. She was scared and said, "That's what brought tears and emotions because what ifs, and I didn't know the fire was that bad until I watched the video." But a phone call was on its way to change everything for Renita. Smith was soon famous all over after the incident. Her act of bravery had caught everyone's attention, but even though she was getting famous in the outer world, the personal life was still difficult. The means that Renita earned through driving the school bus weren't enough to raise a teenage boy and a young girl in this time of high expenses, but there was somebody who was noticing everything from afar. The next call Renita Smith received was neither a normal call, nor was it from someone ordinary. Her bravery had caught a lot of eyes, and she was in limelight everywhere for what she'd done. Smith had been inviting to none other than the Ellen DeGeneres show. Her brave actions were commendable, and she deserved to be there. But the surprise didn't end there. Ellen had planned something for the brave mother which would change her life. Ellen had noticed the conditions in which Smith had been living in and was really upset to see someone so kind and courageous to be living so poorly by herself. The conditions were so bad that Smith had been in a flight for the first time when she had to go to California for the show. The applause for Smith's bravery didn't stop there, though. Glenarden Woods Elementary School named the 28th of September 2016 as Renita Smith Day in honor of the bravery she showed by going out of her way. Hundreds of students cheered for Smith and gave her countless thank yous. Each child that Smith had saved in the bus accident gave her a long rose. Their parents were nothing less than being grateful for what Smith had done for them and their children. No one could have been a better caretaker for their children than Smith. Even a plaque was unveiled in honor of Smith by Dr. Kevin Maxwell, CEO of the school district. He told NBC Washington, "I saw the smoke and the flames and she showed her unthinking, unflinching courage." Not only that, Smith was also honored by College Park City and also the PGFD, when Smith did their work even better than they could have done it and took the responsibility on her shoulders in their absence, proving to be the strongest. When Smith's children saw the footage of the inferno of which their mother was a part, Smith told Today, "It scared them a little once they saw the pictures, but they've been awesome. They're always supportive of their mom." Smith must have been a hero for everyone else, but for her, none of what she did was extraordinary. "I'm a mom," she said. "I did what a mom would do." She never bragged about it and didn't feel like a hero at all. She's been the bravest a person can be and has shown the highest amount of courage by risking her own life. Smith even explained to DeGeneres, "My son, one of his friends texted him and said, 'Your mom's a hero,' and he said, 'My mom has always been a hero.'" Even though Smith has so little for herself and children, she didn't even think for a second about giving away her own life if she needed for the 20 kids that were in the bus as her responsibility. She might not have anything material to give away, but still what Renita did as a favor or as her responsibility was bigger than any treasure the students or their parents could have ever received. What is commendable is how even after so much praise, Smith still doesn't feel she did something extraordinary. It was a responsibility for her and she was no hero according to herself. She felt like she did what any human should have done and would have done by saving the children without hesitation. People who have all the resources are the ones who barely ever ready to help someone in need, and those who have nothing with them are the ones who are always readily available to help those in need, just like Renita. Smith understands the responsibility that's on her shoulders. It's not easy for parents to leave their kids and let them be alone in the outside world without supervision. All the students are like her own children until she drops them off. Smith knew exactly what she had to do when she understood what the trouble was, and she was very clear about it. As she explained to ABC News, "When I'm driving them, you're my children until I drop you off to your biological parents. I have to handle each child with care as a mommy would her own, so that's what I did. That's what I hope any human being would do for any child." The council member and university professor Fazlul Kabir shared the bravery of Renita on Facebook with praise. He added, "A big thank you to our school bus driver who just saved 20 elementary school kids from a bus fire that completely destroyed the bus. Smith is a hero, not only for the 20 children whom she saved, but also and more importantly for her own children whom she loves dearly. She struggles each day with all her strength to give them the best life possible."